Joe Zekas from YoChicago.com. I'm at Grand Bend in Green Bay this afternoon with Doug and Elsa, who are recent homeowners here.
Right.
Good afternoon.
Hi, how are you, Joe?
Tell me why you bought at Grand Bend out of all the options that are available to you.
Well, when we were looking, we looked seriously at probably 20,
At least.
between 20 and 30 different condos in the Evanston, or just in the downtown Evanston area. And we had certain requirements, and we only looked at ones with those requirements. For instance, we wanted indoor parking, we wanted a certain amount of space, we wanted an outdoor balcony or patio or something like that. So limiting the choices with some of those requirements. By the time we got we actually started at Grand Bend and ended at Grand Bend, but because this was the closest one to our house that we moved from. But it was clear that there was more available space here. The rooms were a little bit larger. The layout was actually quite a bit nicer than most of what we saw, because this is a new building, or almost new building. And the architectural layout is just, it's more modern. It has a great room attached to the kitchen, and then bedrooms removed from that. Whereas some other places you'd walk in, the bedroom was first, and then you had to walk through something to get to the living room. And there were just some other layout kinds of issues that weren't particularly interesting.
Was this a consensus choice, both of you?
Well, yes. We lived in our house for 35 years, so it was a difficult move to make, but was the right thing for us to do right now. So we wanted to be fairly close to where we used to live, and the fact that this was a new property was inviting for us, because we just didn't have to do as much to make it feel like home. So it fit the needs of what we were looking for.
Have you found, you've only been here a couple of weeks, have you found a restaurant you like to go out to in the neighborhood? Neighborhood bar?
There are zillions of restaurants in this area, which we can walk to.
Yeah, and we've also known Evanston restaurants, because we only lived a couple miles away, so we've been here regularly in downtown Evanston.
Mm-hmm. And I try to walk, since we're so close to downtown Evanston, to walk to the post office or the library. Yesterday I made a big trip to the post office, and then to Whole Foods, and then to the shoe store, and then to the library, and then home, and it all took about an hour. So it's very convenient.
What were some of the negatives that made you waffle on the decision? Were there any?
Here?
Here.
I don't think I didn't have a lot of negatives. I mean, I don't know if you had any negatives on the place, did you?
No, it's a busy corner, so it's obviously something you need to consider. But the building is very well built, and so we haven't found that to be a problem, that it's busy.
Now, you had some background, if I recall, in real estate development.
Yeah, I'm a developer, real estate developer, have been for 35 years.
So you'd be a tough buyer.
Yeah, I know something about the construction of buildings like this. And it was one of the things that attracted us to this building, is that it was very well built. We could see that by just walking in and out of the garage, and a lot of the plumbing is exposed, and the kinds of sounds that you couldn't hear essentially in the building. Things like that all led us to believe that the place is pretty well built. And it has been that way since we've been here too.
Any advice you have to buyers who might be looking here?
I'd just say look around, look at other places. That's ultimately what sold us on this place, was comparing and contrasting. Some places you walk into and you just walk right back out of them. Once you see what it looks like, or once you smell it, or once you do something else, you can tell that it's not a place you really want to spend any
well, the
time.
lobby is very nice. It presents itself well as you come into the building. And everyone we've met been very friendly, and we've already swapped plant watering with our friends on our floor, so it's easy to get to know people.